Hello folks, Y Guy here again. Welcome to my home on this very beautiful autumn afternoon. The name of this video is called The Y Guy Remembering Church. You know, I've had the pleasure and the honor to minister in churches of Nazarene churches, Calvary Chapel, Assembly of God, all sorts of Pentecostal, interdenominational, non-denominational, Foursquare churches, even a Mormon ward, Catholic churches. Oh my goodness, I have had the pleasure, and I can't stress that enough, I've had the pleasure to be involved with so many different folks that all had their unique perspective of God and His desire for mankind. And you know, I remember that from time to time, and even though I would prefer to not ever step into a building which houses an organized church service ever again, even though I prefer that not to happen, I was still thinking and remembering those 35 plus years that I spent ministering in what we know as the church. Okay? You know, I got to admit, I have very fond memories of when I did so. I really do. I miss the laughter, the hugs, the warmth, the love, the singing, the crying, and from time to time, and praying for one another. And sometimes even the preaching. I know that's hard to believe, but sometimes I even miss that. You know, first let me say that we, as people, we are the church. Not the building, not the denomination, not the religion, not its politics, its rules, that system. Okay? So when I talk about leaving the church, I'm obviously not talking about leaving myself. I hope you caught that. You know, I didn't leave the church or the church system due to anger, frustration, hurt, and disappointment. Like a lot of folks, the reason they left, I didn't leave for that reason. Even though I experienced all of those things that from time to time that everyone has experienced. You know, it's in our nature. Corrupted nature. I'm going to use that word corruption here again in a minute. You know, simply put, I left because I felt God told me to. It's as simple as that. You know, I can only speak for myself here, but I'll have to admit, and a lot of people aren't going to like this. A lot of people in my camp, where I'm at now, aren't going to like this. But there are extremely, very, very good life lessons that can only be learned within that church system, even though it's as corrupted as I believe it is. So, you know, when I say corruption, it's not meant as a put down, folks. I'm being pragmatic in the same way Paul was when he was referring to our flesh as being corrupted. Okay, and how we're supposed to put on that which is incorrupted. They're not supposed to. We are going to. God is going to allow us to do so. So I hope you're catching that. So for those who feel a need to leave church, I just want to be an encouragement to you. Don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to do it. You know, because there's also valuable lessons, godly lessons, that can only be learned outside of those corrupted four walls of religion. As long as our flesh is involved, there's going to be corruption involved. I hope you're following me. You know, when I was in that church system, I had a tendency to wrongly judge others outside of that system. And I know if you're honest, you'll admit the same. Okay? Of how mistaken those folks outside the church system are. And you'd look down your nose at them. And you know, you wouldn't do it intentionally. It just seems to come, you know, when you're comfortable with other folks that are in your camp. You have a tendency to talk about people that are not in your camp, and kind of with a belittling, judgmental attitude. I know that. That's how it is. That's how we are. You know, but now that I'm on the outside, I sometimes... Did I learn my lesson? Well, yeah. But, I mean, for a while there, I didn't seem like I learned my lessons because I sometimes wrongly judge as well, just like you do. I wrongly judge what I view as beautiful, precious people. For the most part, they showed me nothing but love and mercy when I was on the inside. Okay? So I'm just remembering. I'm reminiscing here, folks. However, okay, the changes for the good since being on the outside. Oh, there's many, okay? I can trust God now. You know, I was told to do that while I was within the church system. All the time, by all sorts of folks. But I really couldn't. Due to, and I could give you a number of reasons, all right? But I want to keep this video positive, all right? I now love people like I never did before when I was in the church system. The church would tell me to love people, yet I can't get into it. Not on this video. I don't feel like I'm supposed to. You know, wow, that sprinkle hit me square in the face. You know, I'm so very hungry now to actually know the living God rather than the promoted icon of that church system. I'm free to be myself and accept you the same way, to be yourself. I'm free to do that. And now that I can trust God with the both of us. With both of us. I know I can now. I can do that. When I was in the church system, I couldn't trust people who weren't within the church system. I couldn't trust God with them. I expected them to, you know, toe the line and follow the rules and confess certain things and believe certain things, and I was trusting them to do those things. I really wasn't trusting God. I hope you're following me. You know, I could go on in closing this video, but I'm sure you get the picture. And it's a beautiful picture. It really is. What God has in store to reconcile all of creation, it's not if, folks, but when. You know, it's not in the timing that's proclaimed in the church system, but it's in God's timing. All right? So be an encouragement. If you're feeling like you're supposed to move on out, do so. God's got you covered. He's got you taken care of. Okay? Well, thank you for viewing.